Alright, we're going back to how to play with the ME-1 mixer. As you can see on the screen left. Right now I put the mixer into the USB playback mode. I'm playing back the session from this Sunday, 9 a.m. 1, so you can see the meters going. You can see the meters go in and out. Let me see if I can zoom it in. Nope, it won't let me zoom in. Sorry. So you can see the meters going, the mix is going in. So this would be kind of like a Sunday simulated setup. So we're going in and we're going to just kind of go over the mixer and how to get the mixer into shape. And right now, we'll get into that. So we have the ME-1 right now is pretty much, let's just say, out of the box. So if I hit button 1, you get the kick, snare, high tom, low tom, hi-hat. Nothing's assigned. So you got some things that's going on. This is not quite right, obviously. So first thing we want to do is recall our general scene. You'll do that by holding recall in the 1 or 16. 1, press again to recall. And then we got our general setup going. First channel is the click. Second is the drums. You see the levels up there. Bass, electric guitar 1, electric guitar 2, acoustic, key groups, violin, lead singer, yellow mic, red mic, blue mic, green mic, headset, the stereo grouping, and the front of house. So all of these names will change according to who's on the mic. So I'm going to pan the camera a little bit. I'm going to go back to the yellow mic. So you see yellow. You see the yellow there. Pay attention. And I'm going to select the yellow. Processing. And I'm going to change the yellow. I believe yellow this week was EV. EVIE. We'll hit apply. We'll do the same with the red. Pauline. Apply. And give it about 30 seconds or so to catch up. And we'll see the yellow magically change to EV in a sec. If not, you can just retoggle the button. There it is. See, it just changed. So EV, we have Pauline. The lead, that's name is already set on the group. So we'll actually now focus more into the mixer, the ME-1. Gotta frame the shot a little bit better. So we have that. So, it looks a little intimidating, kind of like the old Avian, but you have a nice little friendly screen. So I hit 1, click. This is just one-to-one channel mapping. So, see the level pan? That's gonna bring up the volume. And you can see the input, and you should be able to hear what the sound is coming through from my headphones. I'm purposely using these open setup headphones right here, just so you can kind of hear what's going on. I'll put that right here. It'll be in the frame, so you can kind of hear where the sound is coming from. So you can see that. By the way, the master volume, you can just sort of control with this knob here. Now, we'll go into the drums. Let me mute this. Or actually, I'm just going to solo it. I should be hearing the drums. I'm not hearing anything. That's because everything is muted. So if you don't hear anything out of a group, something like this, say the keys or whatnot, the solo will follow whatever group I'm going into, by the way, if you noticed. Gotta hit the group, and then this will show me all of the channels. So I'm gonna select. This one can be pressed down. So hopefully, let me take a look. This is a silent moment for the kick. So you can individually set the panning and the volume. So going to the snares. So once the channel is highlighted, once I press this button, the level pan button, it'll highlight. Without pressing it in, it'll control the volume. While it's pressed in and rotating, it will adjust the panning. So I'm going to pan it slightly to the left. I'm sorry, yeah, to the right. This week the snare was in channel 3. So high tom. I'm going to pan it all the way to the left. Low tom, I'm going to pan it all the way to the right. I'm just really exaggerating the volumes here. A little bit of high tom, I'm sorry, hi-hat. A lot of overhead. And you know what? Maybe on second thought, I want less of the toms. So we can just kind of to our taste. And I'm going to go ahead and try to crank it up, so you can really hear what's going on. I apologize, you can't really, I don't really have a powered speaker set up, so you can't really hear what's going on with it. You just have to take my word for it that the headphone is actually translating all of that mix into that. So bass, again, once you press it down, you can control the panning of each level. So electric guitar 1, I want to pan to the left. Electric guitar 2, I want to pan to the right. Acoustic guitar. Keys, again, I need to adjust with this function. Violin. Again, going to the group. So I'm going to have both Simeon and the Panic come in at the same volume. So it's not really disruptive. Evie, she's standing to the left of me. Pauline standing to the right of me, so to speak. Blue mic. You probably kind of want to hear, but this is kind of, depending on who's singing, you may want it up or down. Headset, so you can hear the sermon. Through 15 and the front of house. I'm gonna turn it up so you can hear instruction from the stage or whatnot. So you got everything kind of set to where you like, and then you're gonna store a preset. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold Shift and store preset. Shift, store preset, and I'm gonna store it in 9. Edit to say yes, Sunday was the 10th, so I just say 10, and just hit the blinking button one more time. You don't want to clear it. So that should have been stored. To recall, hit the recall. Nope. Try that again. Press again to store. So that should have. So if I hit the recall button now, so I'm going to try it again. Store preset. Press again to store. So I'm going to press 9 again to store. So once more, Shift, store preset. All of these are available for you to save on board. Hit 9, press again to store, and it has been stored. Now, nice thing about this is that if you have one of these cheapy USB keys, let's see if I can get it to focus. Focus. See, if you have this, you can actually plug it into the back of the mixer. I'm gonna unplug the headphones now, just to make things a little bit more visible. And try to get into the shot here. So you see a USB port right there. I'm gonna plug it in. Again, you don't have to fit with the power cable, so I plugged it in, like so. And then I'm going to store, press the Shift, put it down. Press Shift and store. And now you see a different option. Press, you can store to USB. Hit the select button, and you can edit the name. Say 2 D, and then so that just cleared it, so I'm just going to say 1, 10, 100. Okay. So shift store preset to USB. You can edit name and then highlight this again to store. Edit name. Obviously, I don't think I did it right the first time. Let's see. So hit the exit menu, and then you can store to USB. And that's stored to the USB. If I hit recall, you can see what I just saved. So while I'm holding the recall down, if I press that, again, it's going to recall whatever's on the USB. I'm gonna plug in the headphone again. And obviously I didn't save this, but if I do recall, all the drum settings are saved. So, gonna go back, play back. Gonna stop my recording and play back from where the kick and everything is active. Hopefully you should be able to hear it even though the headphone fell down behind the table. So this is how you can save your customized settings on the ME-1 with the USB drive. You can have your own preferred setting once you dial it in to where you like it. Couple more things to review. You got a local mic. I'm actually gonna mute everything. You can mute everything. Notice how it flickers at you saying everything's muted. So everything's been muted. And once you turn this up, there's this little microphone here that picks up the stage sound. So if you have ME-1, you can kind of like add the stage sound as you like. And I'm gonna start unmute everything. If I were to hear this on the headphones, I would get this plus my talking, everything. So, and I think that's pretty much it. You can solo each channel, and the solo follows whatever channel you're on. Going to menu a little bit, dimmer, and you can also set up the keys. Say I want to change my drum grouping. So you see the members, you scroll down to members, hit the button to select, and for some reason I don't like the overheads too much, so I'm going to take out the overheads. And then there you go. Hit the exit button, the master button, and you notice how it went down to 6 because the overheads are stereo channels. So it went down from 8 channels to 6 channels. You can pick. You see how this channel is now overhead, bass, electric guitar 1, electric guitar 2. Groups, the keys don't change, acoustic, violin, everything kind of shifted down a little bit because I removed that. So you notice things will shift down automatically because it will automatically populate the first 16 channels from the board into 1 through 16 if it's blank. So you may want to be careful about editing this, especially if you don't have time to do it. There is no way to, unfortunately, edit this offline so you can bring it in to where you have it set up perfectly and then you can just pop it in. Unfortunately, you don't have the time to do that. So only time you really have to do it is during sound check and or interlude. And maybe if we have time, if we actually bring the mixer and all the equipment down, maybe during different setup nights or whatnot, but that's still in the planning stages, whatnot. So Basically, the initial settings I have set up is just kind of like a general setting. You can tweak one individually. Gonna exit everything here. Hit the master. You'll get into the EQ. You can shape the sound. You got the low. If you're an extra bass, cut the mids. While you hold it down, you can also change the frequency. Notice that it's pretty broad. 200, 520, 840, 1100, 1400, 1800, and so on. So it's about every 300 hertz it goes up. And it's not a very fine-tuned EQ. In the highs, if you want to really like a low-end heavy mix, you can do it this way. And then finally, the limiter. It'll kind of limit the sound that is actually going out to the headphones so you don't blow your ears out. If it's on top, it'll maximize volume and just kind of accordingly. If you have, especially if you have a really sensitive headphones, this might really come in handy. Let's see, exit menu. I think that pretty much covers everything that you need to know about this mixer, the ME-1. Let's see, again, the labels you really can't change per channel basis. It'll follow from what it's getting from the board. But everything else, you should be able to name it. If you go into the shift menu function, let's see the system setup. You can see the unit, whatnot. You can mute the mic from here. And this is this mic, the local mic. So if you don't like the mic, you can mute it from here. You can also reset the source list. Let's see what happens. I haven't really tried this. And it'll just kind of reset the source list. 7, 8, 10, 11, keys, 12. And then it starts to populate. Again, it'll automatically retrieve the first 16 channels, and it may not to be your liking. So I'm going to go ahead and recall. And now bass, electric guitar 1, 2, acoustic guitar. Again, really recommend getting one of these cheapy USB drives so you can store your settings as you see fit, especially if you're using this. It'll make your life really easy. Once you have it dialed in to a way that you like, you can just store it on here. You can just plug it in, recall it, and you're done. How easy is that? Much, much more easier than having to deal with the slightly finicky Avions in the past. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so this is how you operate the ME-1 in conjunction with the SQ-5.